You are welcome to Messiah Revelation Ministry. In this video, we are discussing the ships of slaves. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68 laid the foundation that the children of Jacob will be taken as slaves, this time in ships, to a place where they will be afflicted for 400 years. And in this video, we are concentrating on the ships that took the children of Jacob into captivity. And there's a book by Thorkild Hansen, Thorkild Hansen, Hansen. The title of the book is Ships of Slaves, and the book is entirely devoted to the ships that participated in the infamous transatlantic slave trade. And I'm taking Ghana as an example. I'm using Ghana as an example. There was a Dutch fort in Ghana. We call it the White Fort, and from there slaves were taken to the West Indies, particularly to St. Thomas, and there is a fort in St. Thomas called the Red Fort, and the ships traveled 3,852 nautical miles to take slaves from West Africa to the West Indies. And according to Thorkild Hansen, there were about 100 documented voyages by ships, and 49 ships, different ships, were involved in this infamous trade, the trade in slaves. And the names of the ships, how did they name the ship, the slave ships? The slave ships were named after the kings of Europe. They had royal names, and they were also named after the slave owners, the merchants who participated in the slave trade. And the ships were also named after places. And so one of the ships, the Danish ships, was Christianus Quintus. Christianus Quintus, it was a major ship. It was a royal ship named after the royals in Denmark. In a summary, special ships were designed to carry the slaves from Africa to where they were scattered to, and there were special equipment that were used in the ships to subdue the Africans, including a special rod that was used to kick the teeth of the African who decided to do hunger strike, to force that slave to eat. And I was reading a book. The title of the book is A Danish Jew in West Africa. And this book is the record of one of the officials, the Danish officials who actually lived in Ghana. He observed things going on. And page 117 of this book says that it was very, very scary for the Africans. He called them the Negroes, to see the slave ships. And every Negro was afraid to approach the ship, because if you approach the ship, the ship master will take you and put you in the ship and sell you to places in West Indies and other places. And so if you're familiar with the police vehicles, when you hear the sirens behind you, you are scared. and you don't want the police vehicle to be close to you, particularly if you live in a country like the United States where there's police brutality. In the same way, the African Negro was so scared of the slave ship, and so he wouldn't go near the slave ship. Why? Because he knows that if he goes near the slave ship, the shipmaster will take him on board and sell him as a slave. So the ships of slave. This is the story of the ships that engage in the infamous transatlantic slave trade, and that was the infamous trade that resulted in the sale of the children of Jacob as slaves, in fulfillment of the prophecy in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verses 8. Thank you for this message. My next video will be the island of slaves, a video about where the African slaves, the children of Jacob, were taken to. Thank you for this message.